Thank you for clicking Dr. Samurai Minute Lecture. In this video, I would like to answer the question of how should we live our one and the only life? My name is Dr. Samurai. I'm a professor specialized in international social pathology. The other day, I watched an amazing video which I have never seen before, that is called Interesting Truth, entitled Animals Who Were Reunited with the Human Keepers. What I saw in that video was the fish, sheep, head, wrasse was greeting with the diver who saved him 20 years ago off of the fishing hook 20 years ago. The same thing. There's this shark who came up to a diver just to greet, to show his gratitude, because this diver also saved him from hooked in a fishnet 20 years ago. Shark, I'm talking about. Also, there's this rhinos who ran up to this lady who brought them up since they were a little kid. They just knelt down right in front of her, and she just gently stroked them. Another scene was this condor, the big bird. He came down to the ground to greet with this gentleman who saved him years ago. It was as if he was trying to hug this gentleman by spreading his large wings. And among all those scenes, what was most surprising to me was there's this dog who has been with this cow since he was a little, puppy. But one day, this cow was almost taken away to a slaughterhouse. And you know what happened? This dog actually cried, tears running down. It was no different from a gentleman I saw on TV news who was silently crying when he parted with his family at the station in Ukraine, because only those women and children could depart from Ukraine, and adult men were supposed to stay behind to be a soldier. He was crying, but this dog's tears were exactly the same as this gentleman's tears. And when this cow was taken back to this dog, his facial expression was deep relief. What I am trying to say here is, I know we all know animals have some level of emotions, but we have been thinking the level of their emotions are lower than that of human beings, or not at least exactly the same as human emotions. But this video I watched clearly proved their level of emotions are exactly the same as human emotions. Although human beings today have so many ulterior motives, they do not have that. So in that sense, their sense of loyalty and their sense of love could be even higher than human beings. The video I watched clearly showed it. That said, once we know this fact, how should we live? How should we act based on that? I know, still, most people try not to think animals have the same level of emotion as us, and their emotional level is lower and not equal to ours. What I said is true, and animals do have exactly the same level of emotion. If we deny this fact, knowing it is true, that means we all are betrayers who are pathologically selfish. Just think about our own happiness at the expense of others. knowing no matter who they are, they can feel exactly the same way as we do, and still we abuse. That is unforgivable betrayal. And if there are some who feel offended by this statement of mine, I think those people are losing something very important as human beings. And that could be making themselves unhappy about their life. And that could be making their loved ones unhappy because of that. Because if we know animals can feel exactly the same way and could be even more genuinely, and we still maintain our selfish lifestyles as we have been doing, that means anything can go. And we do not have any rights, even if we face some type of atrocities, because we are allowing the same atrocities happening onto those other beings who can feel the same way as us. Nowadays, climate changes and climate crisis is such a big cause, largely thanks to Ms. Greta Thunberg. As an international social pathologist, I here clearly like to state we now have the same level of human distractions as our environmental distractions. Human distractions and environmental distractions are happening simultaneously at the same level due to human beings' selfish, irresponsible acts we have been repeating for so many years. And these human distractions, such as so many mass shootings everywhere, so many murders, so many cases of violence, all these are caused by our human distractions, because we are destroying the inner nature of human beings, such as our children. We are destroying the nature inside human beings and outside of human beings today. And that is causing people who are willing to commit heinous crimes, such as murders, rapes, and violence, as Mr. Putin is doing. Something is clearly missing of those people to be able to do things that kills and harms people who did not do any offensive acts on their side. Those who feel like harming others, no matter who they are missing something very important, and that is a pathological psychology, I must call. Now, that said, how should we live our one and the only life after all? The answer is we should all live up to the truth on this planet Earth, if there's only one and the only life. Some people understood part of this and living altruistic lifestyle to serve other people, not only for themselves but for the happiness of other people. That is the beginning, but that is not the whole truth. Those people who are living altruistic lifestyle, they understood the importance of living for others, because that will give them higher happiness than just living for their own materialistic happiness. But as I have said, human society is just a part of natural society. We must all know the truth about being part of this natural living planet. What I'm saying here is we came to be born as part of nature, and without knowing the truth about being part of nature, we are always afraid of something. We're scared of dying because we are living based upon not knowing the truth as natural being. There is this important phrase in Japanese. If we come to know the truth of this life in the morning, there will be no problem even if we die in the evening. Because if we know the true truth, unshakable truth, we are not afraid of dying. And that truth is gratefulness of being part of the nature, which means sharing the happiness with other living beings too. Not only human beings, but also with other living beings. And this video that I'm talking about clearly shows that's what we all must do. Because other living beings, although they may not be as intelligent as human beings, they are at least as emotional and loyal as us human beings, or even higher than that. As I have said, the dog was shedding tears when his companion, this cow, whom he has been living since he was a little puppy, when this cow was taken away, the tears he showed was no different from our tears. And we cannot keep living at the expense of other animal beings who, if we know, they can feel exactly the same way as we do. And all those keepers of the animals who were reunited with them, those human keepers, their faces showed something unspeakable, something that shows they reached the very truth of living on this miracle planet Earth. My words can go only so far, so I would strongly suggest please look at this video called Interesting Truth. Animals who were reunited with human keepers. That will change you and your life 180 degrees. I placed a URL of that video, although the title was all written in Japanese, but please check them out and share this greatest surprise I experienced. Wherever you are, my friend, on this same miracle planet Earth during this very short period of time. Okay, thank you very much, and bye-bye now.